$WARD nigga. NAYIMED.
Welcome if you're new, welcome back if you're returning. My name is Nayim. I am your host, and today let's have some honest dialogue about Cardi B's new song, Imaginary Players, which is the lead single from her forthcoming album, Am I the Drama, set to drop in September. I'm gonna be honest with you. The first time I heard it, it was like 4 o'clock in the morning, the day that it dropped. I wasn't feeling it. I felt like something just didn't sound right. I felt like the lyrics were okay. It's just sonically, it sounded like she was like reading off of a piece of paper, trying to do her best impression of a lyricist. It just did not sonically, it wasn't catching me, especially considering in my mind, I was thinking about how her other music sound, just listening to like the song Outside that recently came out. I didn't even really go back into the catalog and consider any of that other stuff. But then it made me realize, like, I recognize what I was saying basically from the past was true. If you remember a long time ago, if you knew, you didn't hear me say this before, I said that the reason Cardi B didn't drop another project within, what has it been, 6-7 years now, the reason she never dropped anything in between the time, it's been so long between drops, is because she wants to be taken serious as an artist, not as a lyricist, not as a rapper. She wants to be taken serious overall as an artist. She didn't want to be looked at the way that she was looked at when Invasion of Privacy and even the mixtapes and stuff before that came out. Because we already know what her come up was. She was basically a manufactured product of Atlantic Records. They grabbed somebody off of TV, they grabbed somebody off the street, they turned them into whatever they wanted to be. Because we already know, and I've said this before, a female rapper is a license to print money. She can sell things and do things and be involved in things that male artists cannot be. And if you are the leading female rapper of the time, you have the range to get yourself in all type of other things. So she wants to be. So I said it before, she wanted to be taken serious with this song, Imaginary Players, coming out. This was the opportunity to test the waters to see how the fans and the world reacts to, and the world meaning any consumer that's consuming it, because it's not going to be everybody on the planet, obviously. This is the opportunity to test the waters to see how deep they can go with pivoting her from being like, I don't want to ever say she was a joke. Cardi B was never a joke. She was always something serious because she came in a time where it's not about your music. It's about personality. It's about being likable. She is very likable. She is very much a personality. So she can lean on that a little bit more than music. But she always had goals of being taken serious. And this was the perfect opportunity. They took the Jay-Z classic Imaginary Players, one of my favorite songs growing up. They pretty much, they didn't leave it untouched, but they left it alone. They didn't try to do nothing crazy with it. She took the cadence, she took the flow. She did the same thing with Bodak Yellow. There's a lot of songs that she does that with. That seems to be the thing nowadays. Hip hop is known for sampling and everything. So especially her coming out of that New York area, what better way to be tried to move into being taken serious than take a serious song, say some serious stuff, even though when it comes to the lyrics, I'm sold because it's lifestyle rap. I'm not sold because there's nothing deep and introspective there. It's just lifestyle rap, which is fine with me. She obviously tried to do, it's obviously more of her actually sitting down and having some say about what's in the music. People, when you're writing for other people, if they're not, when they first started and they're not into writing and stuff, they can shoot ideas and, I want to talk about this, let's talk about that. But coming from her old project where she didn't really have any say about it, any input really, aside from like, okay, I can say it like this, or I can add this. You can tell with this song in particular, she was sitting down talking about whatever she had going on in her lifestyle at the moment whenever this was written or whenever she got with somebody and they helped her write this. It wasn't that great, but it wasn't bad enough where I could be like, yeah, it's just trash. That's just not it. I feel like this is one of those songs, especially because this is not a lead single. It's her lead single, like I said, so they can test and see how people react. But this was done on purpose as some type of experiment because there's so many other songs that she could have picked. So many other vibes is what people say. So many other ways and avenues she could have went about rolling this out, because this definitely sounds like a deep cut from the project. And if this is on the project, who knows what is surrounding it, bringing the project together. Now that we got that off the table, let's just talk about the sampling and why she would pick a sample. And this is just not for her. This is just universal. There's a lot of people who believe that sampling is cheating, because, and cheating meaning you are trying to get people, you are artificially, I'm about to say something crazy. I was say artificially inseminated, but that's not the word. You're artificially trying to get people to say that they agree with or they like something because of the familiarity of it. It's not like you came with, this is not an original song. This is not an original concept. It doesn't have to be, but it's not an original song. It's not an original concept. And just based on the history of the song, the sample, the familiarity of it, the content and the context of what the original song would be, people are already going to like it because that group of characteristics already has a fan base attached to it. So if you're already a fan of Jay-Z's Imaginary Players, the original song, even if you were a fan of the song that sampled, the song that song was sampled from, you're going to go and listen to it just because you want to see how good they did it. That was the whole thing about the mixtapes back in the day. We listened to Wayne on those other things because we knew Wayne was going to rip it up. We listened to other people's mixtapes, especially out of New York and stuff, because we knew that they were really good at what they did with making, not remixing, but freestyling over something that we already knew. We already came to the table liking it. So there's people who are going to say that this was not it. Why would you do this? And da-da-da, it's cheating. And I mean, I can understand that to a certain degree, but music is to be sampled. It just happens like that. I personally believe that it is good to, I don't know if it would be good in this day and age, but I don't want to say it's bad. Picking a B-side deep cut as your, and I don't want to say B-side, picking a deep cut as your lead single, because if people would like the deep cut and people would like the song that is not all radio friendly, is not all hyper and up and get your blood pumped, it's not all those things that you would associate with a Cardi B lead single or a lead single in general. If you can get people to like that, but then they go back and they listen to the whole album, because hate her or love her, people are going to listen to this. She already has a fan base. There's people who like her already. So it's not, and they're going to like her for whatever they like her for, whether it's just lifestyle, whether it's just personality, whether it's she makes good music and has a good team. People is going to listen to it. And if they hear this and they like this, they're going to go listen to, they're going to be more inclined to push the album and want to listen to the album. And then people who she can bring in, the people who don't know anything or didn't hear the Jay-Z sample or don't care about the Jay-Z song, which we saw that had a positive impact for Jay-Z, like a 300% increase in people going back and listening. And that's what I think is really good about sampling songs and stuff like that. But I think that it's pretty okay to lead with something like this, because She is a part of a conglomerate. She is an industry darling, and they're going to push this whether we want to hear it or not. That's the beauty of the program director. That's the beauty of the budget. You're going to get whatever they put out there because she might not be no fantastic lyricist. She might not be no super introspective person, but she has set the standard for what rap can be. Meaning, if she doesn't care that you know that everybody else wrote her music, she doesn't care that you know that she don't, on some Diddy stuff. I don't write rhymes, I write checks. She's not like that yet, but I mean, it's coming eventually based on what's in this song. She doesn't care that you know that she's a creative player. So having other people come in and be able to push her into this lane where and this is going into the whole writing and all of that when it comes to these kind of things, it don't make her no difference. You already know what it is with her. She don't care. And if this works out, now other writers and other people will be able to come in and write and make her more introspective, because there's plenty in her life that people want to know about. Her divorce, the situation with the cheat, bro. This can open up the doors for so many more broad topics that we've had to see her live out. It's just that when we were looking at her from the very beginning, it just wasn't something that we took serious as far as she just makes good songs. We're not looking at her in the same category as somebody who would write. But that's where music has evolved to now. People don't care about who wrote the song. The only people who care about who wrote the song is like us and people who still trying to hold on to like some distant memory or trying to push that integrity thing. You're not dealing with writing integrity when you're dealing with somebody who does not care who writes it. This is a machine to print money. And if more people looked at it like that, it wouldn't be, oh, this sucks or this is good. It's just, it works for who it's going to work for. This is the change. And this is why I went back and I listened to the song and I realized that it was actually it was all right. Like, it was something that if it came on, I wouldn't cut it off. I would want to hear her talk that shit because she should be. I would be. Bro, look at my kitchen, bro. I seen a nigga say, oh, you paid your rent with this, nigga? I haven't made enough on YouTube that could buy the paint that went on these cabinets. Like, we're not even about to do that. Like, so if I was in her situation, I absolutely would be talking exactly how she is talking. But I think it's good to see her pushing herself to be taken more serious, because I think this could, it could be revolutionary as far as a rapper who is saying, yeah, somebody else is doing this, because we all know that in order to even be at that kind of level, everybody is going to have a say. Everybody's hand is going to be in the pot. Everybody is going to be involved. You don't get to that level without having somebody else have a say. Somebody else being in the room. People coming and giving you songs all day long, and you're able to pick whichever ones you like, or the label saying, hey, you have to do this. You just don't get there without that. And I think that would be good for writers if we had more people that were like her, that are willing to say, yes, other people did this. Yes, these people participated. As long as they're getting paid, There's a lot of stuff going on, We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Happy Monday to the fleet. Love you guys. I thought it was all right. I ain't gonna, I'm not jumping out the window to, go to bat for it. But after I listened to it a couple times, it kind of grew on me a little bit, as far as just knowing, like I said in the beginning, they're trying to move her into something more serious. So I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Nayimedward, $, nigga. Nayimed.